Hello students, this is the chemistry subject of class 9. In this video and the few upcoming more videos, I'll be discussing with you the suggested solutions of the in-text questions and the exercise questions of chapter number 1, that is matter in our surroundings. In-text questions are those questions which are present in between the chapter at the end of a particular topic. This question helps in understanding a particular topic in a better way. So, I'll be discussing these questions with you. These solutions are the suggested ones. It's not like that okay, you have to write word to word what I am telling you in the paper. You can frame the answer in your words also, but the technical terms in science, the technical terms are very important. So the technical terms should be there. The meaning of the answer should not change. Now let us discuss these questions one by one. First of all, we will discuss the in-text questions which are given on page number 3 of the textbook. The first question is, which of the following are matter? Few things are given, we have to identify the matter from it. As we all know that anything that has mass and occupies space is called matter. Anything. It should occupy space and it should have mass, then it can be considered as matter. So in the given list, the chair, air, almonds, lemon water and smell of perfume occupy space and have mass. So we can consider them as matter. In the given list, love, hate and thought cannot be considered as matter because they are the feelings, as well as cold also. They don't occupy space and they don't have mass also, so they cannot be considered as matter. The remaining are different states of matter, whether it is solid, liquid or gas. Now the next question. We have to give reason for the following observation, that the smell of hot sizzling food reaches you several meters away, but to get the smell from the cold food, you have to go too close. We are aware that one form of matter diffuses into the other form. Diffusion means the movement of particle from one form, that is from higher concentration to the lower concentration. So one form of matter diffuses into the other, means solid diffuses into liquid or liquid or gas into the liquid, and like that. But the rate of diffusion depends on the temperature. As the temperature increases, the kinetic energy of the molecules also increases, because to increase the temperature we have to provide heat energy, and here the heat energy gets converted to the kinetic energy of the molecules. And as the kinetic energy of the molecules increases, so the solid particles of the food diffuses into the gas, that is air, more speedily at higher temperature. And that's why when the hot food is put on the dining table, we can smell few meters away also, but we cannot feel the smell of the cold food which is put on the same table. To understand this process, let us do a very simple experiment which can be done at home also. There are two glasses. In one we are filling cold water and in other we are filling hot water. The amount of water is same. We are now putting the drop of ink into the cold water. It starts diffusing. Diffusing means spreading. From the same tube we are putting the drop of ink into the hot water. You can clearly see that the speed of diffusion is very fast in hot water because of the more temperature, the kinetic energy of the ink also increases. If we put more ink in the hot water, then also it will diffuse very fast. But to diffuse ink in cold water, we have to stir it, means we have to put some extra efforts, extra energy. And when we pour vinegar into the hot water, the blue color of the ink comes back. So this experiment shows that diffusion is completely temperature dependent, and that is why the smell of hot food can be felt several meters away also, because its speed is high. Now the next question is, a diver is able to cut through the water in a swimming pool. Diver means one who is swimming in water in swimming pool. Which property of matter is shown here? This observation shows that matter, here water, is made up of particles, and these particles of matter, that is water, have space between them. If water is not made up of particle, if it is continuous, then we would not have been swim into it, we would not have been passed through it. And if there is no space between the particles of this matter, that is water, then we would not have been able to cut through it. So as we are able to cut through it, it shows that the water is made up of particles and these particles have space between them. Next question is, what are the characteristics of the particles of matter? The characteristics of matter we have already discussed in the first video of this chapter. Now let us see them. The characteristics of the particles of matter are, these particles have space between them, the particles are continuously moving, the particles attract each other, and the particles are very tiny. These characteristics of all the states, that is solid, liquid and gas and plasma, are mentioned in this slide. This slide is also included in the video which we have already discussed. The arrangement of particles, the force of attraction between them, and their kinetic energy, movement, all these things have already been discussed. So this slide is helpful in answering the last two questions of this set. Now let us move forward. The next set of questions is given on page number 6 of the textbook. From this set, the first question is, the mass per unit volume of a substance is called its density. So density is equal to mass upon volume. So the formula of density is mass upon volume. We have to arrange the given substances in the increasing order of the density, means the first substance will be that whose density is least, and the last substance will be that whose density is highest. As per the formula of density, mass upon volume, density is directly proportional to the mass of the substance, means more the mass, more is the density, and it is inversely proportional to its volume, means more the volume, less is the density. As the mass of the air is least and its volume is highest, so its density will be the least one. After that, the exhaust from the chimney. The gases which come out from the chimney are somewhat heavier than air. That's why their density is more than air. Then comes the cotton, whose mass is more than the exhaust from the chimney. Then water. After water, whose density is more, is honey, because its mass is, honey is heavier than water. After honey, it is chalk, and at last the iron. Iron has highest mass among these substances, and that's why its density is highest. So the correct order is air, exhaust from chimney, cotton, water, honey, chalk and iron. The next question is tabulate the differences in the characteristics of the states of matter. So in this slide, I have shown the characteristics of all the three states of matter: the solid state, liquid state, and the gaseous state. The first point is based on the shape and volume. Solid have definite shape and volume, liquid no definite shape, and they take the shape of the vessel in which they are kept. Gases also do not have definite shape or definite volume. The second point is based on the compressibility. Solids are incompressible, liquids to a small extent, but the gases are highly compressible. The third point is based on the space between the particles. There is little space between the particles in solid, somewhat greater in liquid, but the space between particles is greatest in gaseous state. The fourth point is based on the force of attraction. The particles of solid attract each other very strongly. In liquid, it is the intermediate, medium, and in gaseous state, the force of attraction is the least. And the last point of difference is based on the movement of the particles. In solid, as the force of attraction is highest, the particles cannot move freely. In liquid, as it is medium, the particles can move freely somewhat. But in gaseous state, as the force of attraction is least, the particles are in continuous random motion. So this table shows the differences between the characteristics of the three states of matter. Now, in the same set of questions, the second question is, first one was based on the differences of the three states of matter. The second of the question is comment upon the following. Comment means we have to define it. Different terms are given, we have to define them. The first one is rigidity. Rigidity is the tendency of matter to oppose a particular change. We say that solids are rigid, so they do not undergo a change when they are compressed or when the force is applied. So it is the tendency of matter to oppose a particular change. That's why they are called rigid. For some of the human beings also we say okay, they do not change with time, and that's why we say that they are rigid. Same way is for matter also. Second one is compressibility. Compressibility is the ability of matter to get reduced when force is applied. When we apply force to sponge or balloon, it gets reduced, and this ability is called compressibility. This ability is highest in gases and least in solid. Fluidity means the ability of the matter to flow. Liquids and gas can flow easily, and that's why they are called fluid. Solids cannot flow. Filling a gas container. Fourth one. Matter, that is gas, takes the shape of the container in which it is filled, and that's why it completely fills the container in which it is filled. Fifth one is the shape. Matter, that is especially solid, has definite boundary, and this boundary defines its shape. The shape of solid is defined by its boundary. We can hold a particular solid through its boundary, and that is why it has a particular shape. Sixth one, kinetic energy. As you all know that it is the energy possessed by a particle of matter due to its motion. When the particle of matter is in motion, it possesses the energy which is called kinetic energy. And the last term is density. As we have discussed in the previous slide, that density is the mass of any substance per unit volume. So density is equal to mass upon volume. So these are the 7 terms which are to be defined. Now the third question of this set is give reason. In exam also, based on your knowledge, you have to give reason to some statements. The first one here is a gas fills completely the vessel which is kept. As we all know, the force of attraction between the particles of gas is very little. We have seen in the comparison of the characteristics of the solid liquid gas, we have seen that the force of attraction between the particles of gas is very little, and that's why these particles can move freely on all directions in the vessel, and they take the shape of that vessel in which it is filled. So here the force of attraction between the particles plays very important role. So this force of attraction between the particles is called the key terms, the important terminology. In your answer also this term should come. Then you can frame your answer in your own words. The second one, a gas exerts pressure on the walls of container. As we have seen that the force of attraction between the gas particles is least, they move around freely in all directions randomly. And because of the random motion of the particles of the gas in all directions at high speed, they hit with each other, they collide with each other, and also they collide with the walls of the container. And while colliding, they exert the pressure on the walls of the container. We know that when two things collide, whether a small or a big thing, they exert pressure on each other, and that's why they change their direction. Same way, the gas particles also collide with the walls of the container and they exert pressure on the walls of the container, and that's why when we are boiling water in a vessel, when the vapor is formed, we hear the voice of the lid because the vapor molecules are exerting the pressure on the lid. Now let us understand this answer by a small video. Like liquids, gases also exert pressure. So in this video we will see how pressure exerted by the gases. When we fill a balloon with gas and hold its nozzle, and if we loosen the thread, then the air filled inside the balloon will come out. And if we put the hand in front of that nozzle, the mouth of the balloon, we feel pressure. If there is a hole in the balloon, it cannot be filled because all the air will come out through that hole. We call it as a faulty balloon. Here the air which is filled inside the balloon is exerting the pressure. Same way, the gas which is filled inside the cylinder exerts the pressure, and the pressure exerted by the air present in the atmosphere is called atmospheric pressure. This boy is having a rubber sucker in his hand, and when he puts this sucker on the table, it immediately sticks with the table. It is so because as the sucker is pressed hard against the floor, most of the air between the sucker and the floor escapes out. Now the atmospheric pressure outside the sucker makes it stuck to the floor, and to pull it off, force equal to this we have to apply. So force equal to atmospheric pressure is applied. With this activity, we get a rough idea about how large the value of the atmospheric pressure is. With full pressure, the rubber sucker is put on the table. As the air between the sucker and the table is gone out, now the air in the atmosphere puts pressure on the sucker, and that is why it cannot be taken out. To pull it off the table, we have to apply more pressure, more than the atmospheric pressure. So dear students, from that video we came to know that a gas exerts pressure on the walls of the container, and the most important phenomena is the atmospheric pressure, that is the pressure exerted by the air. Now the third question, a wooden table should be called a solid. If we want to consider any specific substance as solid, liquid or gas, it should follow the characteristics of that particular state of matter. Here, the wooden table possesses all the characteristics of solid. That is, the table has the definite shape, it has definite volume, it is rigid, means it has boundaries also. The table is incompressible, and all these characteristics are of that of solid, and that's why the wooden table should be called a solid. So the same type of questions can be asked in exam. It can be of liquid or it can be of gas. For that, you have to mention the characteristics of that particular state of matter which fits for this given substance. Now the fourth question. We can easily move our hand in air, but to do the same through a solid block of wood we need a karate expert. Means the question says that if we move our hand in air, we can easily do it, but we cannot move our hand through a solid block of wood. Only the karate expert can move through it. As we all know that the particles of air, here gas, have large space between them, and because of little force of attraction between these particles, we can easily move our hands in air. As these particles of air have space between them, and why there is large space between them? Because of the less force of attraction between them, and because of this large space we can move our hand very easily in air. But the particles of wood, that is solid, have little space between them. And why there is a little space? Because the force of attraction between the particles of solid is very high. So the particles of solid have little space between them, and that's why it is rigid, and we cannot move our hand through it. And if we want to move, we need a karate expert to move our hand through a wooden block. So, dear students, in this video, I have discussed about the first two sets of the questions, that is in-text questions, which are given on page number 3 and page number 6 of the textbook. In the next upcoming videos, we will be discussing more and more questions, that is in-text questions, as well as in last we will discuss the exercise questions also. Some of the students are having confusion in the latent heat. When we heat a particular substance, suppose solid, when we heat a solid, it will not immediately melt. We are providing the heat, and that heat will be absorbed by that solid. So at particular temperature we are continuously providing the heat, but the temperature is not rising. Then where the heat has gone? The heat energy provided by us is used up in breaking the bonds of the particles, and that energy which is used up in breaking the bonds is called latent heat. The energy which is used to convert a solid into liquid is called latent heat of fusion. Same way, the energy which is used for converting a liquid into gas is called latent heat of vaporization. So latent heat means the hidden heat which is present inside the substance, which has to be overcome to convert the state of matter. This is the basic thing related to latent heat. Now in the next video we will be discussing the next set of in-text and the exercise questions. Please do write all the answers in your classwork also.